Have you ever been denied a purchase? Are you looking to purchase a home or a car? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I can assist. My name is Quiana Harris. I am a financial specialist offering solutions to your financial matters. We have an aggressive program that gets you results within 45 to 90 days. Contact me, Quiana Harris, at 734-752-8818 for your free consultation. Have you ever been denied a purchase? Are you looking to purchase a home or a car? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I can assist. My name is Quiana Harris. I am a financial specialist offering solutions to your financial matters. We have an aggressive program that gets you results within 45 to 90 days. Contact me, Quiana Harris, at 734-752-8818 for your free consultation. But I'm still masking up. I'm just saying. Amen. Well, enough of that. So I want to hop right into our hot topic. And this is one of those episodes you need to take notes. You need to write down some things because I'm going to give you some incredible information that's going to impact you or someone you know. So please, let's take those notes. So we're going to talk about identity theft and credit card fraud. So let's hop right in here with identity theft. This is where someone steals your information pretending to be you. And here are some important things you need to know. Know your rights, number one. Here's an overview of your rights when recovering from identity theft. If someone is using your information to open up new accounts, make purchases, you want to report it and get help. If someone steals your identity, you have the right to create an FTC identity theft report, place a 1-year fraud alert on your credit report, or you can place a 7-year extended fraud alert on your credit report. You also get free copies of your credit report. You get fraudulent information removed or blocked from your credit report. You get to dispute fraudulent and inaccurate information on your credit report. You get to stop creditors and debt collectors from reporting fraudulent accounts. You get copies of documents related to the identity theft. So definitely you want to have a paper trail. So in the event that litigations come down the line, you have all your documentation in order, right? Stop debt collectors from contacting you as well. So, documenting the theft is key. So you have the right, as I stated earlier, to create the FTC identity report. Your FTC identity report helps you prove to the businesses that someone stole your identity and makes it easier to correct the problem that has caused the identity theft. You create the FTC identity report by filing the report with the FTC. Working with the credit bureaus. You have the right to work with the credit bureaus to place the fraud alert on the credit report. The fraud alert tells the creditors that you have taken the reasonable steps to verify who's applying for your credit in your name, and you get to place an alert on your credit report. So with all three credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, the one you contact must notify others. When you place a 1-year fraud alert, you're entitled to a free copy of your credit reports. However, now during COVID, you're allowed credit reports every 7 days because every 5 seconds, someone's identity is being stolen. Place a 7-year extended fraud alert onto your credit report. So the way you do that is you send a copy of your FTC identity theft report to each credit bureau, and they will extend that to that alert to the creditors so that you're protected. Each credit bureau will send a letter confirming that you've placed an extended alert on your file, and that letter will also include instructions about how to get the free credit report copies and it not impact your credit score negatively, because a lot of people tend to think every time you pull your credit report, it's going to impact you negatively. Well, when they say you get a free copy, it doesn't impact your score. Get credit bureaus to remove fraudulent information from your credit reports. And this is called blocking. You must send them a copy of the FTC identity theft report, proof of your identity, and a letter stating which information is fraudulent. And then the credit bureaus must tell the relevant creditor that someone stole your identity. Creditors cannot turn fraudulent debt over to debt collectors. So they can't sell your debt to debt collectors. That's how debt collectors collect people's money. Obviously, they're paid from the original creditor, and they're paid 50 cents of the dollar to collect the debt owed. Dispute fraudulent or inaccurate information on your credit report, and you want to do that in writing with the credit bureaus, and they must investigate your dispute and amend your report if you are right. And you have the right to place the free credit freeze on your credit report. A credit freeze, also called security freeze, make it less likely for your identity thief to open a new account in your name. Because sometimes these thieves, they keep going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny to see how far they can go, especially if they know that you have the potential to have lots of credit out there. Communicating with the creditors and debt collectors. You have the right to stop creditors and debt collectors from reporting fraudulent accounts. After you give the copy of the valid FTC identity theft report, they might not report the fraudulent accounts to the credit reporting companies. So it's key to get copies of the documentations related to the theft for your identity, like transaction records, applications for new accounts, right to the companies that has the documents. And you want to include a copy of the FTC identity report. You also can tell the company to give the documents to the specific law enforcement agencies. You want to stop debt collectors from contacting you. So you don't want to be harassed by people constantly about a debt that doesn't belong to you, that was fraudulently placed in your name. Get written information from the debt collectors about the debt, including the name of the creditor, the amount you supposedly owe, and if the debt collector contacts you about the debt, request the information in writing. limits on financial losses. You have limited liability for fraudulent debts caused by identity theft. Under most state laws, you're not responsible for any debt incurred during a fraudulent new account opened in your name without your permission. Under the federal law, the amount you have to pay for unauthorized use of credit cards is limited to $50. If you report your loss to the credit card company before the credit card is used by a thief, you aren't responsible for any unauthorized charges. And if your ATM or debit card is lost or stolen, you can limit your liability by reporting the loss immediately to the bank or to the credit union. If your debit card is lost, your maximum loss is before any unauthorized charges are made. So within 2 business days after you learn the loss or theft of $50. So more than 2 business days after you learn about the loss or theft, but less than 60 calendar days after your statement is sent to you, $500. More than 60 calendar days after the statement is sent to you, possibly unlimited. If someone makes unauthorized debits to your bank or credit union account using your debit card number, not your card, your number, you aren't responsible. If you report the problem within 60 days after they send your account statement showing the unauthorized debits, most state laws limit your liability for fraudulent checks issued on your bank or credit union account if you notify the bank or credit union promptly. Other federal rights. Under the Justice for All Act, you have additional rights when the identity theft is criminally prosecuted in federal court. You have the right to reasonable protection from the accused, reasonable, accurate, and timely notice about public court proceedings, parole proceedings involving the crime, or release or escape of the accused. So if somebody that you know and they are criminally being charged, they can't come after you, technically. Not to be excluded from any public court proceedings unless the judge decides that your testimony would change significantly if you heard other testimonies. You reasonably heard at any public proceedings in the district court that involves release, plea, sentencing, or parole. Confer with the attorney for the government in the case. Full and timely restitution as provided in the law proceedings, free from unreasonable delay, and be treated with fairness and respect for your dignity and privacy. State rights. In many states, businesses and organizations that lose or misplace certain types of personal information must tell you that this has happened. And to learn more, check with your local state consumer protection offices. So like when there was breaches at Target, Target had to send out a mass letter to all of its customers that potentially had shopped during that certain period that identities were potentially jeopardized. So anytime that a retailer or a major company has a situation where they've been hacked or someone's identity is compromised, they notify the public. 4 types of identity theft. There are 4 types of identity theft, including medical, criminal, financial, and child identity theft. And we're going to cover all 4. Medical identity theft occurs when individuals identify themselves as another to procure free medical care. Criminal identity theft generally takes place when one's identity himself or identifies himself or herself as someone during an arrest to avoid a summons, detection of a warrant in their real name to evade an actual arrest or conviction. Financial identity. This is the most common, and as I stated earlier, your identity financially is normally someone's identity is being compromised every 5 seconds. So it occurs when someone uses your personal information to attain goods, services, or information. Child identity theft is common amongst those who know the child and understand that the child is unlikely to discover the identity theft. It may be gained for employment or residency. And I think that, back in the 70s and 80s, you used to hear where people that had abused like DTE here in the Detroit metropolitan area, Detroit Electric Company, where they were putting their light bills, their gas bill in their children's name because they have either gone so long and have not paid their electric bill and they could not get power, gas, water, etc. Back when we had Bell telephone, where landlines, those types of things were jeopardized a lot and compromised with children's identity. So you would hear, oh, well, I put that in my child's name. So when that child turned 18, they've already had established bad credit because mama, auntie, grandma, or somebody then put the light bill, gas bill, or some other bill in the baby's name. And there are so many true stories behind that. People living in impoverished situations where they have no choice but to do those types of things in order for their families to survive, have lights, gas, or water. So how can you tell if you are a victim? Clues that someone has stolen your information. You see withdrawals from your account that you can't explain. You don't get your bills or other mail. Merchants refuse your checks. Debt collectors call you about debts that aren't yours. And you find unfamiliar accounts or charges on your credit report. So the reason that I chose this topic is because I personally, as of late, in the last few weeks, have been a victim of identity theft. And the way that I discovered it was I had gotten up one Saturday morning a couple of weeks ago, and I was getting ready to start paying some bills online, as I normally would do. And I started noticing altar charge, $150. And I'm like, wait a second. I know doggone well I haven't purchased $150 in anybody's cosmetics, especially Ulta. I just don't do it. And then, granted, I live with the biggest Mickey Mouse fan in the world, but I know doggone well I did not subscribe to Disney Plus, Netflix, and some other things that I found on there. So I immediately called my bank and got them involved to let them know that these charges didn't belong to me. So they immediately stopped all the transactions on my debit card that was connected to my banking account that I use for my household bills. So due to the fact this was a Saturday morning that I discovered this, I had until 2 o'clock to find a bank that would reissue me a debit card, the holiday weekend. This was Memorial weekend when this happened. So I'm running against the clock. And luckily, the banking institution that my household bank is covered through has a couple of facilities nearby that offer on-site printing of a debit card. So I was able to stop the transactions and file the necessary paperwork inside the branch to retrieve my money back. But most importantly, I had to go back through because there were alerts on my accounts, because also later that day, I had also all sorts of fraud alerts being sent that my accounts had been compromised. But by this time, I realized I was the person that actually caught on to the fact that my account had been compromised. So our company offers a protection plan. And through that protection plan, one of the services is called Info Armor, and it's powered through Allstate. And what that does is simply, it will alert you anytime unusual activity out of the norm, out of your normal spending habits have occurred. And it also monitors your social media, your banks, your credit cards, any activity that potentially reports to the credit bureaus. And we also offer a product called Financial Lockbox, where you could secure all passwords to all of your accounts. And so if you don't have some type of fraudulent alert protector on your finances, in these days and times, you're setting yourself up for risk, because thieves are busy, extremely busy. I've stated it twice, and I'm going to say it again. Every 5 seconds, somebody's identity is being compromised. So you could be next. You just never know. Last but not least, make sure you have a will, trust, and power attorney documentation in place in the event of your untimely transition. And I said all of this to say that these are things that we can't predict. However, we can put plans into motion to protect our own assets. So with that being said, I hope today's information helped someone, or can help someone moving forward. Financial literacy is so very important. And, you know, I am here to help others. And I can honestly say that today, before I even came on to the show, within the last couple of hours, I've been impacted by someone who I have impacted with 2 very positive testimonies. One being a coworker today telling me that because of my advice, his credit score jumped 40 points. He knows that he still has some things that he needs to take care of and expects another increase, probably during the next financial cycle that runs once he pays down some more things. But just because he took my advice, my free advice, it is allowing him to put himself back into a situation to get his buying power back. And if you do nothing else from the information that I provide you, take the notes and put them in motion and put together a plan for yourself. And if you don't need the information for yourself, get the information to someone you know that can use the information. My second thing that happened, within that same hour, I get a message in my message box stating, I got approved. And I'm like, approved? Okay. What'd you get approved for? I got approved for $15K. And those of you know that follow me on social media know that I push the programs that are going to work and that I know that is going to help you. So if you are in a situation where you're getting your credit repaired, I set you up for success for Navy Federal. And with those accounts, I tell you to set up a $30, $25 in the checking, $5 in the savings, and let it sit. And later, once we build and work and repair your credit, for you to be allowed to go back and apply for lines of credit. And this person took my advice, and she's a mom, and you're going to hear her personal testimony here soon. But to make a long story short, she got on the protection plan, she got some things removed. And in the process of being on the protection plan, she got in position to put herself and her family into a home on a land contract. And now she gets this message. At first, when she applied on June 7th, she was denied. And I said, I need you to send a reconsideration letter. So she followed my instructions and got the reconsideration letter sent into Navy Federal. And I said, give it 5 to 10 business days. And today was her day. She got the email that she was approved for $15,000, a line of credit on a Visa card. This can be you. Each story is different. But I tell you, if you put in the work and you do what I need you to do, God is going to open up so many doors for you financially. You are just going to be totally ecstatic. So if you allow me, I am helping 800 people become financially empowered this year. I want you or somebody you know to be a part of that 800 number. We're growing this movement by leaps and bounds, by any means necessary. And we are helping people change their trajectory financially. And we're changing the way we own property and own things and not just living paycheck to paycheck. We are teaching financial literacy, something that you can use and pass on for generations to come. So understand this also. I have a network of realtors that will be able to assist you to put you in the homes that you desire. So this is not a game. So call a friend, tell a friend, because we've got something fantastic in store for you. As I move to close, Shanada's pearls of wisdom. Be mindful of your circle and your surroundings. Some people you think are your friends are not. The same with family. You might be related by blood for your family, but they will steal from you like a stranger. Learn to protect your personal belongings, especially the things associated with your identity. Credit cards, banking information, Social Security cards, insurance policies, your family and friends will pray, P-R-E-Y, on you, not P-R-A-Y, for you. Know the difference. And if you have elderly people that you're caring for, make sure their things are secure, especially if you're the caregiver. Protect their assets as well. I hate hearing the horror stories of elderly people being robbed blindly from their family, their friends, people changing beneficiaries, banking information to steal their money, their earnings. If you need to secure the bag, go get your own bag, please and thank you. And with that being said, have an incredible week. Talk to you soon. Have you ever been denied a purchase? Are you looking to purchase a home or a car? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I can assist. My name is Shanada Harris. I am a financial specialist offering solutions to your financial matters. We have an aggressive program that gets you results within 45 to 90 days. Contact me, Shanada Harris, at 734-752-8818 for your free consultation.